Alright, today we are going to go over ordering and comparing FDP. You guys kind of know a lot about this already, but I just want you to have some notes, and I want you to have a little bit more of a basis. So before we get into FDP, we're just going to review how you order decimals, because in order to order FDP, you're going to have to either change your numbers to decimals or percents. So if you have a refresher here and then know how to do it that way, you can kind of go either way. You have a note sheet. You should be filling in the blanks and doing the examples with them along with the video. And then once the video is done, you can glue the sheet into your notebook. If you need to pause the video or anything like that to make sure you're catching up, please do that. Alright. First, in order to order and compare decimals, the first step is you have to make a T-chart. This helps you keep it organized. And in that T-chart, you're going to line up all the decimals that you have. Okay. Make sure that all of your decimals, this is the second step, you want to make sure that all of your decimals are going to have the same place value. This is important because it makes everything a lot easier for you, because when your place values are different, you guys will say that you're not going to get confused, but then I'll say something like, oh, well, why does 5% and 50% or 5/10 and 5/100, why are they in the same place? And it's because you missed your place value, so you think they're still one number. So you want to make sure all your decimals have the same place values, and in order to do that, you need to add zeros as placeholders. I'm sure most of you already know this. Like I said again, it's just kind of a review. The last step is to order the decimals. In order to put your decimals in order, you have to follow the directions that you have been given. Why is it important to follow the directions? Well, because sometimes it'll ask you to put the numbers in order from least to greatest, and if you put them in order from greatest to least, is that what they asked for? No. So is your answer correct? No. Alright. Make sure you have all those blanks filled in, and then we're going to move on. We're going to do an example together. Alright. So for our example, we're ordering these from greatest to least. So I'm going big to small. Okay. So first, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make my T-chart. Oh, whoops. Alright, let's try that again. I have my T-chart. And in my T-chart, so my line kind of represents my decimal for everything. So I have 5 numbers, so I'm going to go ahead and just put 5 decimals here, so that I know that's what my line is representing. 3, 4, 5. And I'm just going to copy them straight from here. So I have 0, 0.4, and I have 0, decimal 1, 2, 5, and 0, decimal 3, 5, and I have 0, 5, 2, and 0, 1. Now our second step says make sure all my decimals have the same place value. So I need to go in and figure out which number has my greatest number of place values, and then make everything out to that place value. So my smallest number or my most amount of place values goes out to the thousandths place, because I have 125 thousandths here. So I need to bring everything out to the thousandths place. So I should have 400 thousandths, 250 thousandths, 520 thousandths, and 100 thousandths. And now it's very easy for me to put these numbers in order, because I can just look here: 4, a 1, a 3, a 5, and a 2. Well, I'm going greatest to least, so my biggest number is 5. So what I should be able to do, and should know, is that 0 and 52 hundredths, or 520 thousandths, is my largest number. So 0, but I'm going to keep it in the same form as it was presented to me. So I have 0 and 52 hundredths. And now I have 4, 1, 3, 1. Well, 4 is going to come next. It's written here as 0 and 4 tenths. So 0 and 4 tenths. Okay. Moving right along, I have 1, 3, and 1. Okay. 3 would be my next biggest number. So I'm going to have 0 and 35 hundredths. Now I get to the tricky part. I have a 1 and a 1. It does still matter where these go, because if I go to the next place value, I have a 2 and a 0. So my biggest one is the one with a value in the hundredths place. So that would be 125 thousandths. And then I have my last one as 1/10. So that's how you put decimals in order. Not too hard. Like I said before, you've probably done it. So let's just run through pretty quickly. Same sort of concept when you're ordering FDP. So, in order for us to order FDP, the first thing that we have to do is change. We have to change all of the numbers into the same thing. And what I mean by same thing is you either need to have all percents, or you need to have all decimals. Because most of you aren't going to be able to just look at a fraction and know where it goes. So if everything is in the same format, either a percent or a decimal, it'll be a lot easier for you to process which ones comes first. So once you've changed everything, then you can order them by, again, following the directions. I get that question a lot. Oh, hey, Miss Sargent, do I put these in order from least to greatest or greatest to least? And that purely says to me that you didn't read the directions. Because in most instances, it's not just going to say, hey, put these numbers in order, and not give you a way to do it. Alright, things you should remember is least to greatest. We've been over this before, but just in case. Least to greatest is also known as ascending. So you can say, oh, put these in ascending order. And greatest to least is also known as descending order. If you don't remember these words, some of your quiz questions are going to be really difficult for you. Alright. Now, step 3 is one of the hardest steps for you guys to remember, because you change everything and then you think you're just going to put it in order how you change it. So then you're going to have everything in order from percent or a decimal, and then you're going to say, hey, my answer is not here. And that's because you forget to step 3, which is change everything back into its original form. So if you had a fraction, a decimal, and a percent, and you change them all to decimals in order to order them, you still need to have a fraction, decimal, percent in your final answer, or else you're not going to find the right answer. So let's do an example of this real quick. Make sure you filled in all these blanks. Alright, so our example is order these from least to greatest. We have 4 tenths, 3 eighths, 8% and 125 thousandths. I'm going to put these all into decimals. I don't have to do anything to 4 tenths because that's already a decimal. 3 eighths I can divide out. And what I know is that it gives me 375 thousandths. 8%, I'm going to move the percent, take away the percent sign and move the decimal 2 places to the left, and I know that's going to give me 800. And then I don't have to do anything to 125 thousandths because again it's already a decimal. Whoops. And now I can put in my t-chart. Decimal, 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 0 and 4 tenths, 0, 375 thousandths, 0 and 800ths, 0 and 125 thousandths. Again, for this one, my longest number goes out to the thousandths place, so I'm going to put placeholders here. So zeros out to the thousandths place, so I have 400 thousandths, 375 thousandths, 80 thousandths, and 125 thousandths. So now I'm going least to greatest, smallest to greatest. So I have 4301, so my 0 number has the smallest. So for now, I'm going to write down 8 thousandths. Okay. And then I have 1 as the next one. So again, so I can write this. Cross that out. And then I have 375 thousandths. And last but certainly not least, I have 4 tenths. Now, I cannot leave it like this. I would not find an answer on my multiple choice question like this. My answer would have to look like this. 800ths equals 8%. So, done. Then I have 125 thousandths. And leave that as it is. Done. Then I have 375 thousandths, which I said is equal to my 3 eighths. So I need to put 3 eighths here. Done. And then I have 4 tenths, which is already a decimal. So then I can put 4 tenths. This is the answer they're looking for on your quiz. This is the answer I'm looking for. So on and so forth. Okay? You can get it here, but you have to be able to put it back into here. This is the stuff you're going to miss. Make sure you have this, and let's go through one quick reminder for comparing. You guys have already done a little comparing, especially in your homework. I'm sure that you remember that if it looks like the L, or if it goes in the same direction as the L, it means less than, and then the other one, the one that is eating towards the left, is greater than. And you also remember that your equal sign, so sometimes you will have an equal sign. You do the same kind of steps, so you need to, it's easier if you change everything into a percent or a decimal, and then compare it. So it's easier for you to compare 2 percents rather than 2 fractions. Because in fractions, you'll say 4/5 is smaller than 6/6, but just because you think there's more or something like that, but you don't necessarily know it. So it's a lot easier if you put them into decimals or percents, and then you can compare them in original form. Alright? You can pause this, you can go back into this video, anything you would like. Make sure your notes get glued into your notebook, okay?